Learn to be frugal. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. So, what's the difference between being frugal and being cheap? Well, being cheap is not a good thing. Being frugal is a great thing. Being cheap is denying yourself what you need or truly want and can afford. And being cheap is denying other people what you owe them or you should be doing. Okay, that's cheap. And I've known cheap people in my life, and it's not good. I believe in being generous. I love being generous in the right way to the right people in the right amount. Okay, I don't believe in being generous to people who it's not right to be generous to for one reason or another. And yet, I make sure that I give back and I am, if I owe someone something, I make sure that I pay them. Okay. And so that is being cheap. But what is being frugal? Being frugal means that in the right ways, you are able to save money. You are able to get what you truly need and what you truly want and what you truly should have in a way that enables you not to throw away your money. So, for example, when I go to the grocery store, I look at both the generic items and the name brand items. And sometimes you have to pay a little bit more to get exactly what you want. Sometimes paying less does not get you what you want. And then you end up going back and having to buy, what you originally were going to buy that was a little more expensive. So we have to know quality. Is this quality the same? Is it equal? Does it matter to us? Sometimes some things don't matter. A pencil may be a pencil, whether it's a number 2 or a different kind of pencil. It really may not make much difference to us, but one may be cheaper than the other. So I probably would go with the less expensive one. But if something's going to make a significant difference in my life, I'm probably going to go for the more expensive one. But to get there so that I can afford the more expensive one, sometimes we have to be frugal and save our money. For example, I'm not a person that goes to the drive-thru and gets a cup of coffee. I make my own cup of coffee, and if I think I'm going to want more coffee than what I've made, what I am drinking at the moment, I put it in a thermos jug and take it with me. And so often I see people paying $5 for a cup of coffee. That's $5 that they're not going to see again. They could have made a lot of coffee for that $5. They could have probably bought a small can of coffee that would have lasted them quite a while. I'm not saying don't give ourselves luxuries, because I believe in luxuries. And yet, we have to know what's important and what's not important, what we don't mind, giving up so that we can have something bigger and better later on. There are so many ways to get what you want legitimately and right for far less money. Shop around. Anything more than $500, I get 5 estimates. 5 estimates. Because often in those 5 estimates, we will see a big range in the difference that it's going to cost us. Now, granted, just because something's less expensive or the cheapest doesn't mean it's going to be good quality. So we have to make sure the quality is still there, although we're paying less. And sometimes when it comes time for negotiation and things like that, if they know that there's someone else in the background, often they're going to reduce the price. They're going to give us a lesser price. If they see that we're overly eager, they're going to raise the price perhaps, or we're not going to get a better deal. And so there's a lot of ways to be frugal. You don't want to be penny smart and dollar dumb. I know a lot of people that know how to save pennies, but they don't know how to manage dollars. So once they get the dollars, they lose the dollars after saving all those pennies, so to speak. I guess maybe they're not going to print any more pennies, I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that. So I'll have to change my phrase to like nickel smart or dollar dumb or something like that. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is we want to save in areas that don't matter, okay? And so that we can spend or get what we truly want or have the money when we really, really need it. I've often told this story about many, many years ago. I was like 19 years old and my mom and I were coming across country. And my mom and I stayed at this real rundown motel to save money. And we couldn't wait to get out of there the next morning. And we both immediately decided that we would never stay in any kind of lesser than motel ever again. So from that point on, we stayed at nice motels, the best that we could afford at the time, for safety and for everything else, for all the other reasons. That was important to us. So you've got to know what's important for yourself. For me, safety is right up there on a priority list. I'm not going to put myself into a bad situation just to save a few dollars. Okay, and I've seen a lot of people do that, including, my mom and I did that one time. We never did it again. And so even to this day, I always tell my husband, I want to stay someplace nice. And if I'm going out to a restaurant, I want to eat someplace nice. Now, we go to bars a lot to eat. We love to sit at a bar and have bar food. We love bar food. So usually that's not all that expensive. We get the same food that we get in the restaurant, but at a much lower price. So we're getting exactly what we want, but we pay less. That money that we save, we can spend it on another dinner or something else. So we're being frugal. And yet we're generous of spirit in the right way with the right people. And remember, generosity has to be smart, because there's a lot of people that will take advantage of generosity. They will. They'll take advantage of your kindness and your generosity. So you want to be aware of situations like that. And so I love being frugal. It's fun for me. It's an art form for me. I don't do coupons anymore. I know a lot of people do coupons, or at least used to do coupons. And I did once upon a time, but I found that using coupons for me, for the most part, I was buying stuff that I would never buy. And the stuff that I was buying really wasn't worth it. Like I remember little TV dinners that I could have probably, made a beautiful regular dinner had I taken some time. Cooking at home, often you can save quite a bit of money. Now I love to go to restaurants, okay, but when I'm saying when you're cooking at home, a lot of times people will buy pre-made food. With just a little bit of time, they can make 3 times that amount of food for 3 times less amount of money, okay? And so I believe in some things we can do ourselves and some things we need to have paid to be done. And so you got to know which is which. So you got to be smart when you're being frugal. Not everything should we be doing ourselves, or not everything should we buy that is cheaper just because it's cheaper, because some things just won't work right. Or, I've learned I don't usually buy mechanical things from thrift shops, because much of the time they don't work. Some have worked beautifully, but often some have not. So if it comes to mechanical things, I tend to buy new ones at a regular store so that I can return it. So you have to kind of really be smart when you are being frugal. But being frugal can be fun. And people who just waste their money, I see so many people that just waste money on so many things. Take a look at where you're putting your money. Are you going through that drive-through every day? Are you buying fast food every day rather than going to the store and buying food and taking it home and preparing it? You probably end up eating in your car, which is usually probably not the best place to eat. And then, packing on weight because you're doing mindless eating. So think about what your choices are. Think about what you're doing. Okay, it can make all the difference in the world. Well, the frugal lifestyle is a great lifestyle. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.